Hey guys, here is the new Moto Edge 60 Pro. With this phone, Motorola claims to have made quite a big improvement in terms of performance over the Moto Edge 50 Pro. So in this video, we'll run some benchmarks and play some games to see how capable this phone actually is. Now without any further ado, let's get started. Starting with the benchmarks, in Geekbench, which is a CPU benchmark, the Moto Edge 60 Pro scores 25% more in single core and 52% more in multi-core. That is a massive improvement. If you think that was impressive, see the improvement in GPU performance. Here we can see more than double the performance compared to last year. That is absolutely crazy. It scores really well in advanced graphics tests as well and even supports ray tracing. One of the biggest criticisms of last year's Moto Edge 50 Pro was regarding its storage type, which was a slow UFS 2.2 type storage. So now this phone comes with UFS 4 type storage, which is way faster and makes the phone feel a lot more responsive to use. And finally, in Antutu, which combines the CPU, GPU, memory and UX performance, this phone scores 72% higher than last year. Generally, 20 to 30% improvement is what you get year on year with most phones, so this level of performance improvement is truly praiseworthy. With regards to stress test, in pleasant conditions, this phone barely throttles and provides consistently good performance. However, in this summer heat, when the ambient temperature is more than 30 degrees Celsius, this phone does throttle quite aggressively, especially in the GPU department. It tries to keep the performance consistent, but as soon as the internal temperature touches 44 to 45 degrees Celsius, it reduces the performance by quite a big margin so that the surface temperature doesn't go up. Now let's see how these benchmark results translate to real-world gaming performance. First is BGMI or PUBG. Here we are currently getting 60 FPS with smooth graphics. On the Realme P3 Ultra, which uses the same Dimensity 8350 chip, this game supports 90 FPS. So I guess even this phone will get the 90 FPS support in the near future. But at the current 60 FPS level, this phone doesn't even break a sweat. Next is Call of Duty. Here we are getting the option to play at 90 FPS with low graphics. The Realme P3 Ultra played this game at 120 FPS with medium graphics, so even this phone should eventually get that option. At 90 FPS and low graphics, it's a cakewalk for this phone. Next we have Asphalt Legends Unite. This game has been recently updated to support 90 FPS on this chip, and we have also maxed out all the graphics. With these graphics maxed out, this game is a visual treat, and playing it at around 90 FPS on this phone makes it feel very smooth and responsive. Even after playing it for a while, the performance holds up and the average frame rate remains over 80 FPS, so I'm very impressed. Next is CarX Street. This game is a console-grade open-world racing game, and we have maxed out all the graphics. This phone is doing a really good job with this game, as the frame rate is a consistent 60 FPS. I guess this game has been optimized to run better on this chip, as just a few months back, only phones with the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip could handle this game at 60 FPS. But still, given the level of graphics this game has, I'm very impressed by how well this phone is handling this game. Next is Genshin Impact, an open-world action-adventure game. Again, we have maxed out all the graphics. I was expecting this phone to handle this game well and get around 50 to 55 FPS, but this phone is actually staying very close to 60 FPS even after playing it for a while. Again, I am super impressed. Last but not the least, we have Wuthering Waves, which is again an open world action-adventure game, but with even better visuals. Again, we have maxed out all the graphics. Here we can see some fluctuations in the frame rate, but generally the frame rate is above 50 FPS and the game feels smooth and responsive. With an average of 56 FPS on such a demanding game, I am definitely not complaining. Okay, so to conclude, this Moto Edge 60 Pro, even though it is not specifically made for gaming, is a very powerful phone and can handle pretty much anything you throw at it. Some games need to be updated to take full advantage of this phone's power, but that should happen in the near future. So if you are confused between choosing a phone with better cameras or better performance, this phone offers pretty much the best of both worlds at a very good price. Obviously, I need to test other aspects of this phone, which I will cover in my long-term review, but my first impressions of this phone are very positive. Alright, that's the end of this gaming test. Hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel down below. Thanks for watching.